Hello everybody, thank you very much for coming and for your efforts. We know you are very busy in these days, so we thank you. We are also very sorry to not be able to speak in Hebrew for this session. It would have been much more better for all of us, but unfortunately we can't. So thank you very much again for your effort and participation.
Okay, so this is the plan as we're going to go through it. Things are going to become more clear as we go through the process. In understanding exactly the aims and goals as we intend them. But this is the sort of plan for today's event. So we're going to start off with an introduction. We're going to have a little icebreaker to just sort of get everyone to know each other and get things flowing. We're going to go through a talking paper, which is just a mechanism for understanding what's going on, which we'll go through. We'll analyze, do some analysis. We'll have a little info session where Maria is going to really discuss the theories what we can present today. Then we're going to break it all down, see if we can find some consensus, and conclude with just a little questionnaire. This is going to be the basic structure, and as I say, it'll all become a lot clearer to you guys as we go through the actual process itself. So at this stage, before we crack into the icebreaker, anybody got any questions or anything they'd like to ask?
Right. So we can get started.
Okay, we're going to start off with a little icebreaker, just something basic just to get us all to know each other, recognize everyone in the room, and share an experience. So to start, we just want to have a name, a little bit of background about yourself, just some basic details, maybe what you've studied, where you're from, etc. And then if you could please share an experience you've had where you have personally experienced a feeling of peace. So at this stage, we're going to do a thing, it's called a talking paper. So we're going to hand around these matching cards. I'm going to give you one each, and you can have more if you have further ideas, sort of 2 or 3 maximum, just so we don't get sort of inundated with ideas. And what we're going to try and do is, I'm going to ask a simple question and just get you guys to answer it as best you can, just to write one idea on each piece of paper and tell me how you define peace.
Easy question, not easy answer.
Exactly. So the build here, and the aim that we're trying to get with this sort of list is we can see here that there's multiple different conceptions of what's coming out for peace. So you can define peace in a number of ways. Here, the absence of conflict. We're talking about peace in the negative. So what peace is in relation to what it's not. So there's conflict and peace is the absence of, which is often how peace is generally conceptualized. But I want you guys, rather than sort of me telling you guys, I want you guys to see if we can together sort of start to form some sort of groupings with what we've got here and adding sort of additional things to them, where we can see forms of peace in sort of categories starting to be put together.
Interesting. So you're saying that it is possible to have this universal definition of peace?
I think theoretically based on that definition.
Mm-hmm. Related to this idea of many types of peace. There is not one singular peace, but many. Actually, there are 4. They are called energetic peace, which is this one, moral peace, modern peace, and postmodern peace. Each of them is related to a specific vision of the world. And but you don't have to understand them as happening in different moments of the history. Actually, the idea of these theories of these pieces that they all live together in the same place in all continents at all times and within all the individuals. And so we will see. This is the first one.
So at this stage, we know there was a lot of info to hit you guys with. So at this stage, we really want to know, do you guys have any questions or issues around peace that you don't understand or anything?
Quick question. So they're all sort of existing at once.
Yes.
Right? The moral piece and the postmodern piece seem to sort of be against each other in terms of like one saying there is a superordinate truth and one saying there is no superordinate.
Yes, because what actually the theory says is that they all exist, but they are not balanced. Mm-hmm. And the 5th family that we are not seeing here because it doesn't go with the purpose of this session, but the 5th piece is the combination of all 4. And actually, it is called transrational peace. And what it gives is how can we use the main knowledge of each piece and combine them. So morality and truth exactly don't go together, but there are things from the moral, like the idea of justice is taken What is not taken is the idea of
Universal truth.
exactly, universal truth.
And this sort of God figure being a final judge above all. So it's a combination of elements of the different types of truths, different types of peace, with recognition of the origins of where they came from.
Yes. And actually, if you want even go to more in detail, the way that justice can be connected to truth is about what Anna said just before, is about defining what is peace and what is happening just right now, in this moment. What is just for you and for me at this moment. Knowing your truth and mine, what do we define as just? Now that we have these categories, to try to find their place, our definitions of peace, to see if they can match with any of those categories. For example, this one, inner peace, serenity, calm, at one with yourself, your body, would be energetic.
Right.
Okay, so now we've got this idea, we've sort of formed the ideas we brought at the start to sort of a generalizing perception of peace. We've started to categorize them and break them down into a more generalized notion. Let's start hearing what you guys think and let's tangibilize this thing. Let's get back into the real world. Let's talk about the context we all live in, Israel. So if we want to start, Maya? This form of peace, in terms of the role of a mediator, can come in a way from their resolution of these forms of peace that fundamentally leads to a sense of sort of intrinsic security. Right.
So
Fantastic.
This is actually what the purist says.
Yeah. We may have guided it that way.
You don't know it, but all through the session you have been saying everything that these researchers have been saying for the last 20 years. Yes. So
now the question is how to apply it to real life.
We just want to thank you guys so much for coming, for participating, for being involved, for being such active participants. Your ideas were fantastic. It was so beautiful to actually see this organically reach this position that we were hoping to sort of get to, but like it came regardless of our input. Like I think you guys would have achieved it sitting in a room together anyway.
Thank you.